They profited over $1 billion in net sales by making blatantly false scientific claims and did not have to pay a dime for it. $570 billion. That is how much revenue the global beauty industry brought in 2023 alone. How? Primarily by selling consumers products they don't need and lying about what the benefits of those products are. You practically can't go anywhere in real life or in the digital realm without being bombarded with ads showcasing the latest product that's clinically proven to reduce wrinkles, give you smoother, brighter skin in just 1 week, as they use pictures of models whose skin has been airbrushed in post-production. Or they'll show you how to give your lashes the new full fan effect, knowing good and well the model in that picture has on fake eyelashes. A $570 billion industry built on lies. How do we let this happen? Let's get into it. Cosmetics have always been a part of human civilization, used for various purposes from religious ceremonies to cultural identification. So naturally, cosmetics have always been a part of modern society as well. In the 18th and early 19th centuries, their use was largely restricted to royalty, actresses, and the wealthy. Here in the US, by the late 19th and early 20th centuries, their use became more accessible to the general public. This coincides with the Roaring '20s, which was a period of economic prosperity, glamour, fashion, and music. So naturally, economic prosperity, along with a new desire, a new demand for beauty enhancement, gave rise to a number of cosmetics companies. Many of today's biggest makeup manufacturers were established in the 1900s. L'Oreal was founded in 1909, Maybelline in 1915, and Revlon in 1932. It all started with humble beginnings. Simple formulas to enhance eyelashes, which would later come to be known as mascara. Simple pigments for the eyes and lips, which would later come to be known as eyeshadow and lipstick. As the years went on, largely thanks to industrialization, cosmetics started to become a mass market commodity. Society now had the infrastructure to carry out mass production with factories, synthetic ingredients, and a substantial labor force. Various innovations also played a role, like the metal lipstick container invented by Maurice Levy in 1915, which helped turn lipstick into a mass market commodity. Fast forward about 100 years worth of mass production. Today, there are so many makeup companies to choose from. But guess what? The majority, if not all, of the major makeup brands that we've all heard of are owned by the same 10 to 15 conglomerates. Basically, they are dressing up as the illusion of choice to consumers, but underneath that costume, they're all just fingers of the same hand. So if you don't know, a conglomerate is a parent company that owns and controls many subsidiaries, which are legally independent but financially and strategically dependent on the parent company. They're formed by things like mergers and acquisitions. L'Oreal, for example, started out as one single company making hair dyes in the 1900s, but today they are a multinational corporation that owns all these brands and made $47 billion in sales in 2024 and has a current market cap of $232 billion. Fun fact that has nothing but also everything to do with this is that Eugene Schuller, the man who founded L'Oreal, was knowingly supportive of fascism in Nazi Germany in the 30s and 40s. La Cagoule was a French far-right group that was anti-communist and anti-Semitic. They were known for violent plots like assassinations and bombings, and sought to replace the French Republic with a dictatorship model like what was seen in Germany under Hitler and in Italy under Mussolini. Schuller provided financial support and made space available to the Cagoule in L'Oreal's offices. In his 1941 book, he wrote, "I know full well that we don't have the chance that the Nazis did coming to power in 1933. We don't have the gift that the Germans had. We don't have the faith of National Socialism. We don't have the dynamism of a Hitler pushing the world." Founder of L'Oreal Paris, everybody. So while he was busy conspiring with Nazi Germany and plotting violent Aryan race nationalism, business was booming. During World War II, between 1940 and 1944, L'Oreal's sales nearly quadrupled, and Schuler's personal net income increased nearly tenfold. Crazy to think about, right? Anyway, after Schuler died, his daughter Lillian Bettencourt inherited the empire and at one point was the richest woman in the world. When she passed away, her daughter inherited the empire. The heiress Francoise Bettencourt Myers is currently the second richest woman in the world and the 20th richest person, period, with a net worth of $81 billion. What they say, the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. So L'Oreal is just one example of a cosmetic company that started small and grew to become a huge global powerhouse with massive influence. Crazily enough, they themselves are owned by another conglomerate, Nestle. What? Estee Lauder is another conglomerate who owns all these brands, and fun fact, the family that owns Estee Lauder donated like hundreds of thousands of dollars to the Cuomo campaign to try and stop Mamdani from winning mayor of New York.
Oh my God, our city is being taken over by communists! They're gonna start taxing us!
And Shiseido is another conglomerate that owns all these brands. In a previous video, I talked about how our role in society has shifted away from being citizens to being consumers, and I want to elaborate on that in this video. As consumers, we actually do have a lot of power because corporations, especially the ones that sell physical products like cosmetics companies, fully depend on us, the consumers, in order to exist. So you want to talk about activism, about fighting the power. One way we can all do that is by looking at these corporations through a critical lens before we just hand over our money for products we don't even need. Let's take the example of Eugene Schuler, proud Nazi and founder of L'Oreal. If you were alive back then and were anti-fascist, anti-Nazi, but still bought products from L'Oreal, you would have been complicit in upholding a system of oppression that you claimed to be against. L'Oreal used the money they got from their consumers to directly provide resources to groups that supported fascism in Nazi Germany. Today, there are many major corporations with similarly morally corrupt financial ties that are using our money as their lifeline. Apps like Boycat can help you see which products to get and which to avoid based on the moral standings of their parent companies. And you can use it both in-store and online. In a world where money is power, we can prevent entities who are standing on the wrong side of history from obtaining power by getting in the way of their money. But in order to do that, we have to stop being mindless consumers, despite all the forces that would like us to be. So with mass market production of cosmetics, inevitably comes the need for marketing and advertising. Beauty advertising is as old as the beauty industry itself, with ads dating back to the 1920s all the way up to the present day. And today, the industry spends billions of dollars running ads on billboards, TV, social media, and print. According to Statista, L'Oreal alone has been spending over $2 billion in advertising every year since 2017. In the US, the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, and the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, work together to regulate cosmetic advertising. The Food, Drug, and Cosmetics Act of 1938 gave the FDA the power to regulate cosmetics for safety and accurate labeling before being marketed to the public. However, the FTC is the one that really carries the weight when it comes to ensuring that advertising claims are not misleading and are adequately substantiated. So how does the beauty industry still get away with making claims that are misleading and not adequately substantiated? 1, living in the gray area. 2, loophole language. And 3, they literally have so much money it's hard for them to be held accountable for anything ever. According to the FDA, for a product to be considered a drug, aka a pharmaceutical, it has to affect the structure or function of the body. And if something is a drug, it has to go through a lengthy and expensive process of testing and regulation, obviously to ensure that it's safe, but also to make sure that it actually does what it claims to do. Cosmetics products that are clinically proven to reduce wrinkles are technically making a claim to alter the structure of the body, yet they're not seen as a drug by the FDA and therefore don't have to be approved as one. Products like these conveniently fall in this gray area where they're referred to as cosmeceuticals. But according to the FDA, the term cosmeceutical has no meaning under the law. While the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act does not recognize the term cosmeceutical, the cosmetic industry uses this word to refer to cosmetic products that have medicinal or drug-like benefits. In this gray area, they can make these drug-like claims without having to present the evidence that these claims have been tested to be true. And when they say clinically proven, it does not mean that the product has undergone multiple peer-reviewed studies, nor does it mean that the so-called results have actually been validated. It just means that anywhere from 1 person to 1 million people have tested out the product in an experimental setting. As this article breaks it down, the term clinical simply refers to anything that can be observed in or involves patients. And there is technically no such thing as proof in the scientific sense. The best studies can only provide a probability of outcome based on statistical analysis. And odds are the majority of cosmetics products that we see with clinically proven blasted on it have not even undergone enough of a study to be able to conduct statistical analysis. They are primarily mass market buzzwords that coerce us into consumption, and no one is stopping corporations from using them. So where is the FTC? At best, they're trying their best to protect consumers, and at worst, they're trying only as hard as the ultra-powerful corporations will allow them. It's up to you to decide which you want to believe, glass half full, glass half empty, but keep in mind that the chair commissioner of the FTC is appointed by the presidential administration. The same presidential administration that broke the law in March 2025 and fired 2 FTC commissioners without reasonable cause. The last and only time an FTC commissioner was fired by a president was in 1933 under Roosevelt, which the courts ruled unconstitutional back then. Today, the courts are currently deliberating if Toronto dumps Today, the courts are currently deliberating if Trump's FTC takeover, makeover will be allowed, and a decision is expected by late June or early July. So to get back to the question of where is the FTC when we need them? Yeah. There was a famous case in 2014 where the FTC filed a lawsuit against L'Oreal over their Genifique skincare line, which made claims that the products were clinically proven to boost genes activity and stimulate the production of youth proteins that would cause visibly younger skin in just 7 days. The ads for the products said that they were backed by 10 years of gene research, but L'Oreal was not able to provide evidence for any of it. L'Oreal agreed to settle the charges and paid no monetary penalty. Mind you, these products were being sold since 2009, 5 whole years before the settlement even occurred. And Youth Code was priced up to $25 per container, while Genifique was priced as high as $132 per container. They profited over $1 billion in net sales from Genifique and Youth Code by making blatantly false scientific claims and did not have to pay a dime for it. This article by Truth in Advertising highlights a few other times prior to this 2014 lawsuit that L'Oreal has been under fire for deceptive advertising. In 2021, they came under fire again, this time for their collagen moisture filler cream, which is sold as an anti-aging product that is infused with collagen to visibly fill in wrinkles. They were sued by plaintiffs, and according to the complaint, topically applied collagen is too large to be absorbed by the epidermis, the uppermost layer of the skin, making the products incapable of helping smooth wrinkles and restore skin's cushion, as the labels suggest. L'Oreal attempted to dismiss the case in 2022, but this motion was denied by a judge, allowing for the lawsuit to proceed. But guess what? The year is now 2026, and there are no publicly available updates on the case since 2022. It has virtually disappeared. If you look up the lawsuit, which is Lopez et al. Versus L'Oreal USA Incorporated, nothing within the past 5 years comes up in the search. Where did it go? Conveniently enough, the product under fire is still being sold on the L'Oreal website and probably in stores too. So if we can't depend on the law to hold cosmetics corporations accountable, can't really depend on governmental agencies like the FTC or the FDA to protect us from being deceived and essentially robbed in broad daylight, who can we depend on? Ourselves. To reiterate my previous point, we live in a world where money is power. These corporations get away with and profit from deceptive marketing because consumers keep buying into it. Whether we realize it or not, we have the power in this dynamic. That's why boycotting, aka withholding our buying power, has always been a key component of social justice struggles. We can scream and protest at big corporations to treat their workers better, to not support the existence of violent regimes and industries, but nothing makes them listen more than the threat of coming up short on this year's profit margin. In the next video, we'll be taking a deeper dive into this topic by exploring how the beauty industry engineers insecurity to coerce consumers into buying their useless products. We're going to talk about the evolution of beauty standards and the inherent ageism, colorism, and other disturbing hierarchical definitions of beauty perpetuated by the industry. We'll also have a special segment on one of the nice little symptoms of late-stage capitalism: influencer marketing. If that sounds like something you're interested in watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and turn on your post notifications so you can be notified every time I upload in the future. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear them, and I will see you guys in the next video.